that's it then. It has begun. Man, it's really, really cold out here. I don't know what the temperature is, but it's been spoiled me with summer gloves weather. Of course, it's not that now. Got the gauntlets back out. What I'm doing tonight, why I'm here tonight, is just time constraints. I won't have time during the day for the next 2 days to film during daylight hours. So I'll have to make this count, because the next daylight I have is going to be devoted to wheelie stuff, because the last wheelie footage that I got was so grainy. Terrible. Safety though. Safety's why I'm here. It's not the purpose of my existence, mind you, but it's why I'm here on the back of this bike with 2 GoPros going right now. I think 2 GoPros are going. Yeah, they're totally going. Safety though. I want to talk to new riders, beginning riders, people that don't have a bike, maybe are planning on getting one. Just curious folk, you know? You can on skateboard right now. I don't care. First thing, and this is how I keep safe. Now you've heard some of this stuff before. It's not like I have the secret to longevity. I'm selling it at 2 a.m. on TV for $19.99 per month or anything like that. What I have are just things that I do, my behaviors that are just instinctive now. I don't think about them, I just do them. And I'm safe now because of it. Knock on wood. Okay. First thing, I stay covered. By stay covered, I mean my controls. You notice this hand right here, there's some light where I'm at. That's good. But these fingers are always over that front brake. Sometimes I'll get lazy and my fingers won't be covering the clutch, but that's not something I see as problematic. The reason for that is, not all that long ago, I was driving down the interstate. Everything was peachy, no problems. I was there behind some sort of large truck pulling a trailer, and then one of those people that like to get in the passing lane and just hover right beside whatever vehicle is next to them in the opposing lane and just stay there for all eternity. Much like the people that buy lotto tickets and just want to stay there and just pick number 5, number 7, number 3, just hoping that that drip feed just makes them rich instantly at a gas station counter. Get the fuck out of here. No, seriously though, like the people that hold up lines at gas stations to buy lotto tickets, there's a special circle of hell reserved for you. I'm kidding. I don't really mean that. I'm not that mean of a person. It is annoying though. And the correlation here, or the thing that's sort of related, or the parallel that I can draw from this, is someone in the passing lane behaving similarly will make me not be so happy with them. Now, I digress greatly, but these people were there just sitting side by side, you know. I was a little bit back behind them, of course, because I don't want to follow too close. And for whatever reason, I don't know if it was the wind or if the guy in the truck was just playing on his cell phone, or if he spilled his coffee or his soup in his lap, but for whatever reason the trailer just went really far to the right, and the other car was freaking out. I didn't have my hand covered there. I was doing this because I was like, hey, I'm on the interstate, I can relax. I don't have to worry about it. In that moment, I found myself having to react very quickly to slow down to keep from running into the back of him. And I gotta tell you, I didn't do any sort of panic braking, but the only controls that I had covered were the throttle and the rear brake. Now I applied the rear brake, I let off of the throttle, I used engine braking to slow me down. The only thing that kept me safe was the fact that they were able to correct whatever the hell they were doing at the same time and, you know, work together and keep me alive. Because if they hadn't, if things had gone awry and I needed to stop or swerve, I probably wasn't prepared either way. Point is, the controls weren't there because my hands weren't on them. I basically froze. I didn't freeze completely. I mean, I did react. I applied progressive brake pressure to the rear brake, which means, you know, fuck all. But I wasn't ready. I didn't react and reach for the brake. And if I had, I probably would have locked the brake up anyway, because it'd be just quick, jerky, panicky motion. Like, I'm gonna run into this. I need to stop. And shh, you know, it wouldn't be good. So I always keep these fingers over the front brake lever there. It helps. Whenever I first started doing it all the time, my 30-minute commute would make my hands sore. But now it doesn't bother me at all. The entire time I'm on the motorcycle, my hands like this, unless I'm just wide out in the middle of nowhere, completely aware that nothing's around and just playing around, which is not very often. It's just never. It's happened maybe once. So that's what I do. Just ride around like this. It may seem crazy or weird or I don't know. It's what I do. Second thing is, I keep back. See that car just pulled out in front of me right there? I'm looking out for that, of course, but I'm not that close to any vehicle that's in front of me, because I know that I can't stop that quickly. Now I can stop quickly. Its front brakes are amazing, but when it comes down to it, you can't hammer on them all at once like you can in the car. In a car, you basically have that oh shit button right at your foot. On a bike, it ain't the case. There have been several instances wherein if I had not been far enough back behind the vehicle that I was following, I would have just smushed myself right into him. Just right into him. But I didn't. Because keep back a little bit. I don't think I need to go into any further detail with that. It's probably clear enough. Next thing is, and something, since I haven't been paying attention since I'm filming, which is bad person. Stop doing that. Those things right there. Those mirrors. I watched those religiously, except for the past few moments when I was completely distracted and caught up in my soapbox moment. But I watched them like crazy, because you get all sorts of data. And that's what this is all about, data, you know? You give people data, you let them know you're coming through, flash your lights at an intersection, with dark, sometimes I do it when it's daylight. No left turn. Man, I really wanted to go that way. But there is, I don't know. There's definitely a reason to watch those mirrors. It will keep you alive. I've seen way too many YouTube videos where guys are just sitting there chilling with the lights, and there's I see lots of guys doing that. I don't have any percentage numbers, but in this city, pretty much every time I see a guy post up on a motorcycle at a red light, they're just relaxing. Most of the time they have their hands off the controls, looking around, not looking at the mirrors, and maybe they're paying attention more than I think they are. I have no idea what's going on. I can only see what I'm seeing. Now, I won't relax at a red light. I'm parked way over to the side, which is like a side note safety thing. Whenever you're at a light, don't park right behind people. You get smashed. If something comes up behind you quickly and doesn't stop because they're playing on their cell phone or putting on makeup, then they're not going to see you and you're going to get smushed and you're not have anywhere to go. But it's just a little side note. Watch your mirrors, particularly when you're stopped. All the time though. You don't want to have someone rear end you and that be the end of your motorcycle career, because A, you're either too scared to get back on a motorcycle, or B, you're too hurt to. And I'm gonna pull in right here and look at my cell phone and see what the next thing is for my safety, because I've written it in the notes, because I can't remember that right now. I didn't study for the test. I'm sorry. Teach. I'm sorry. I failed miserably. I don't know what this bright light's doing in my low light settings. Can't be good. Alright. Can't let you guys see my passcode. There's so many cameras. This has been dissolved. What am I doing? Oh yeah. Jesus Christ. Okay. Okay. Next thing is use a little bit of gear. I'm not saying dress out in full leathers and have an airbag vest on. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, if you're, you know, if your actions dictate that sort of gear, then that's definitely what you should have on. But just a normal guy like me going to work and stuff, have some gear on. My jacket has padding and abrasion resistance in key areas. Same thing with my riding jeans. My shoes, they come up to my ankles and tie. They're Nike Special Fill boots. I know those are basically sneakers, but if I crash, they're not coming off. At least I don't think they will. I've seen way too many like Vans type, not necessarily Vans, but just low cut ankle, below the ankle shoes just fly right off as soon as you crash. So I don't want to do that. My pants have padding at the hips, and then these weird little, very thin, surprisingly, beady, I say beady because that's the composition of the structure. Like little balls with holes in it, but it's really thin and it's knee padding. I don't know how good they are. Whenever I'm doing my wheelie practice, I use knee pads. Of course, wear a full face helmet. The guys that I see chilling at the red lights, just nonchalant, trying to look cool and shit, 90% of the time they have on the brain bucket helmets, you know, just no face protection, just like a hat basically, a cute little biker hat. So you can look like a zombie from Call of Duty, what is it, World War II. Some of the skins they had where the jaws just ripped right off. That's scary. But I don't want to wait to go left, so I'm just going to go right. Wear some gear, wear gloves. If it's cold, you're gonna need it. If it's wet, you're gonna need it. If you fall and do something dumb, you're gonna need it. And you may be a great rider. I have never had an instance where I've like dropped the bike or laid down at all. The entire time I've been riding. Rode before, right now. It's been years since I've been on the bike. But the other day I was leaving my friend's house and there was some mud or leaves, well, probably a mixture of both, and back tire came completely out from under me. I just finished, I think, an hour-long wheelie session with no hiccups to speak of as far as any damage to me or the bike. And then I'm leaving a driveway and that's what's going to take me out. It's silly. So just wear gear. You never know what's going to happen. I'm just saying, prepare for like little dumb stuff like that. Not prepare to crash into shit going 160 miles per hour. You should not be doing that. Anyway, I'm not saying not driving fast, but not crashing into things at 160 miles per hour. Yeah, I'm gonna shamefully pull back into the gas station because I can't remember the second thing that I was supposed to do. I just get off on these tirades and forget everything that I'm supposed to be remembering. Shite. I get distracted. I don't have like ADHD or anything like that. I just get distracted. Camera's still blinking. Yep. Okay. My apologies for my forgetfulness. Next item is ride within your limits. Said time and time again, but seems like, I'm not saying this is a causative thing, but definitely correlative, but definitely correlative. Whenever guys get in groups, gals in groups, people in groups, and it's not necessarily a competition like they're racing, but whenever you're amongst friends and you're doing a sport or participating in a sport such as motorcycling, loosely calling that a sport in the context of regular folk like us doing it and not being on a track, whenever you're participating in this pastime, it seems like whenever you're around other folks that are riding bikes, you might be inclined to go a little faster than you normally would, show out a little more, impress some people, get some good footage for YouTube or whatever you're doing, get competitive, dicking around, not paying attention. And next thing you know, you're coming up on that curve, or there's a car in front of you or something like that, and you don't know what to do because you can't really brake, you can't really slow down, because you reach that point of no return. It's not where you want to be. You want to be mindful, completely in control, zoned in. And be as zoned in as possible makes it more fun, trust me. Like, I'm in a completely different state of mind when I'm on my bike versus, I don't know, sitting around at home, being at work or something like that. Granted, right now, it may not be perceivable because right now I'm devoting a lot of my attention to the GoPro stuff. Ride within your limits. Don't go faster than you think you need to. Don't get in a hurry. Just, there's no reason to exceed your grasp of the motorcycle at the current moment. And most of the time in the day-to-day, there's not a reason to push it unless you're just doing it for the hell of it. And even then, you should stay riding within your limits. Next thing, maintain your bike. Now, this was pretty cut and dry. I mean, you don't want to get stranded on the side of the road and get ran over or robbed or whatever, or just inconvenienced because you didn't change the oil on your bike, or you don't want to be caught in the rain slipping and sliding just because you didn't get new tires. That's really when it counts, whenever it's wet. I mean, it counts other times as well. Get new tires when you need to. Make sure there's nothing leaking out of your bike. Have a look, make sure nothing looks weird all the time. Man, I don't inspect my bike every time I go out. There's no way in hell I'm doing that. But I pay attention, I observe, make sure nothing's really going to be problematic for the day. Something rattling in my helmet. What the hell it is? Don't judge me. Got a lot going on here. I remember 2 of them. It was pretty good. Next topic. Something I'm definitely not doing right now because I'm having to park every time I'm doing it, is distracted driving. Well, here I am being a hypocrite. I was totally being a distracted driver earlier, filming shit to put on YouTube. Guilty as charged. Perfect example. Don't do that. But seriously though, aside from my recent crimes, it's real easy nowadays, especially when there's all sorts of mounts that you can put on your motorcycle to hold cell phones, GPS, mirrors, so you can put on your makeup. There's all sorts of options when it comes to accessories you can put on your bike that would distract you. Radios. I'm sure there's a TV mount somehow, or some guy that has one for whatever reason. Just don't be taken away from the experience because of things like that. Cell phones ruin so much. I went to visit my brother in another country, beautiful country, and I would go and visit these sites, and everyone was just obsessed with taking pictures rather than taking it in. And my brother even asked me, like, they would ask me from time to time, do you want to take any pictures, or do you want us to take pictures? And you know, I did indulge a little, but for the most part I was just focused on absorbing it mentally, so I would feel it in my soul and remember it, and it was totally achieved. But the same sort of thing here. You don't want to be distracted. Like, this is one of the best experiences that I can't believe I've been missing out on for years for various reasons. And the only reason why I'm doing this now is because my car broke down and I didn't want to be married to a car note for the next 5 or 6 years. I mean, I worked my ass off just for barely getting by. I don't want to make it where I'm eating ramen noodles and shit just to pay for a car note. So here I am, and I don't want to be playing my cell phone or paying too much attention to my GoPro that something happens bad, very bad, just because I'm not looking around. You can afford to do a little bit of that in the car. You can get away with it, rather. You can't do it on a bike. I can't do it on a bike. If you're like Deadpool or something, you could do it. Deadpool mixed with the guy from Lord of the Rings, the elf guy. I can't even remember his name right now. And he can slide off the backs of giant beasts and then shoot stuff with arrows, just all at the same time. That's pretty awesome. I can't do that though, so I don't have the agile capacity to use my cell phone while I'm riding my bike. Even if it's mounted, I don't want to do that. There's a weird bit of light coming from that car behind me in conjunction with my mirrors. There's a vortex of light right on my face, and this is the longest light at night. Ridiculous. I'm only laughing because of the way she has her head back when she's running. Like, she's going so fast that just knocking her head back. But that's how she runs. She doesn't walk like that though, which is cool. Okay. The next thing is something that hopefully you've observed me doing all throughout this video, is treating every interaction with caution. By that I mean that guy, that person there with their lights on, just moving, that guy that's getting into his car, people are coming down the road, everything. And I don't just mean while you're driving, I mean while you're parked as well, because Let's face it, bad hombres, whenever we're on our bikes, we are completely exposed. People will come up and try and steal stuff out of my backpack right now. And I guess I'll just drive away really quickly or fight them off or something, but then you gotta worry about putting the kickstand down, your bike falling, all that stuff like that. It's just, oh, big hole. What you don't want to do is not be keeping your head looking around as much as possible for threats. Whether you're parked, whether you're alone, whether you're in a group. Definitely not out on these mean streets out here. I'm such a dork. But like that guy right there, I gotta be suspect that he's gonna pull out in front of me. Whatever could be possible, the worst possible scenario, I have to imagine that and prepare for it. What is that noise? Where's it coming from? Oh, I found it. There's something in the back of my helmet rattling in one of the vents. Huh. Odd. That guy, it looked like he's going to cross the line a little bit. Every car, you have to pretty much just pretend that everyone you encounter is going to murder you while you're on the motorcycle. Okay. Like that guy. I saw that back tire rolling. I know he wants to go backwards. He moved a bit. He saw me. He stopped. But I was looking out just in case he didn't see me. That guy right there. He could only, well, no. That person. All that. I totally didn't see that one back there on the right. That person right there. Did they see me? I don't know. Let's slow down. Always treating every interaction with caution, because you never know who's going to do what and when they're going to do it for whatever reason. Like, she could be completely wasted, or he. You never know. There are so many cell phones all the time that you kinda got to look out for yourself, because no one else is. No one else gives a shit. I'm not saying you don't have anyone that cares for you. I'm not saying that, but when it comes down to it, it's every man for himself out here. And I don't mean that like in some limiting way, just the way it's said, you know. Yeah, I'm ever watchful on my motorcycle. Kinda gotta be. I know I've been driving in circles. I'm doing this for the sake of having enough light so the footage isn't too terrible, at the same time covering the topics that I want to cover. In a small city, I could have been less lazy and gone to the neighboring city, which is just basically the same place, but I didn't. I've been doing this, and here we are. And I either have useless footage, or I'm going to use it. And I'm probably going to use it. I'm probably going to post this on YouTube. Probably. And I don't always say doob like that. I just do that for fun. I say YouTube. And I watch like 3 or 4 cars deep behind me, because say there's one car parked behind me. If someone crashes into the back of it, they could push that car into me. I think that could happen even if there's like 2 cars. I could be wrong about that. I don't know. Maybe I've seen way too many movies or wreck footage. So I'm typically watching whenever there's a line of cars behind me. Once it gets so long, then I feel like I'm a little safe and I'll relax a bit, but I'm still looking. I don't wear a bunch of reflective gear and have lights on my bike and anything. I use the little flasher button on the Yamaha. That's a really good feature, by the way. It's beautiful. You can do it manually with any light switch, but just having that trigger right here, like a PlayStation control, that's awesome. every time there's an intersection like this, I look to my right. That way, if I, or my left, whichever, you know, respectively. That way, if I need to go left or right to avoid either cars that are there, left or right in front of me, I can. I have somewhere to go. I have an escape route. I'm always looking for escape routes. Somewhere to go. Because this is finite space, and you can't use all of it up. Getting smashed into. I'm trying to think of anything else that I may have forgotten, because there was this other thing that I thought of earlier, and I was going to mention it, but now I've forgotten it. I'm not going to preach about not going fast, because Lord knows I do it all the time. It's fun. But I'm also riding a 321cc motorcycle or a 286cc motorcycle, so they aren't fast. Fast enough to get me in trouble. Fast enough to get me killed. Of course. I could get killed going this speed. I really can't think of anything else. There's better lighting over here. It's like it's made just for me. That's a cool picture. I like that. That's neat. I've never noticed that before. Looky there. It's right there. Am I forgetting anything? Maybe I'm not. Maybe I've thought of everything because I'm a genius. That's not the case. I'm totally forgetting something. If I do forget anything, I don't know. I'll get it across somehow. Or maybe it won't be that important, because there's probably not going to be a lot of views for this video. Anyhow. Stay safe out there. Stay on the back of your little motorcycles. That's what I'm gonna do. Keep riding my kid bikes because it's fun as shit, and I don't have to pay a whole lot for insurance, and they're really inexpensive bikes. I see all that as pluses. They go fast enough for me. This one revs out like a little maniac. I love it. I can park here because I'm a customer. Okay, bye.